Astronauts to the moon.
What's going on, everyone? It's Jaronism back again for another video talking about reality versus what others may consider reality. Kind of came to a realization recently, and that realization was that basically whoever got there first got to make the rules. So unfortunately, now we live in a world of pretenders, and I do plan on doing everything that I can to get that changed. Mostly because Pretend Land or Globe Earth or Ball-E World, Twirlorama, you name it, is all taught in schools. Colleges, universities, you name it, worldwide, and that is very pathetic. And they throw it right in our face. You remember National Lampoon's Vacation? Look at the globe there on your left, with the planes flying upside down and all around. And then to the right you have the moose as an astronaut next to a rocket. Sorry, folks. It's impossible to live on everyone's favorite spinning, orbiting piece of nonsense. I mean, you'd spin right off. I mean, use your noggin, geniuses. How would the water even stay on? Sorry. Just the idea alone would make the most sane of us pull a Clark Griswold.
This is crazy. This is crazy. This is crazy.
See, to get scientists to change their view on what space is, it would be kind of like taking candy from a kid. There'd be a lot of yelling, screaming, temper tantrums, because this is their livelihood. It is exactly what they decided to do with their lives. They wanted to play with expensive toys and play pretend and make things up that don't exist in reality. Well, to change that would be kind of like telling them that their best friend is an imaginary one, even though they've played with that friend for years. And other people play with it too. And they also agree that it's reality. So sadly, it isn't. It isn't reality. It's pretend. It's imaginary. Worst part of it all, our tax dollars went to building this fantasy world for these people to play make-believe in. And NASA even fakes it continually so that other people can play pretend too. Some even get big heads and make stupid-ass statements.
Characteristic you value most in yourself?
I like, and I've worked hard at this, the ability to just speak something that is so fundamentally true that it's not subject to your opinion about what I just said. That gets
An absolute.
That gets right into the center of any conversation, and then I can walk out and let that be the it's not, well, you think that, but I think something else. Then why even have the conversation? Then there's an old saying, in the universe, they're the laws of physics, and everything else is opinion.
Sorry, Neil. Try me. See if I think I have no opinion on your bullshit sci-fi fantasies. What has space done for humanity is my question. It gave you a mansion, a nice car, a nice job, and an enormous head. So keep telling lies, and I'll keep calling you out. If you want to believe in things like this, Neil, go right ahead. You want to believe that they float around in space and that micrometeoroids are flying around and leaving holes like this in the ISS? You want to believe that this is Pluto and convince all these gullible people that this is Saturn? Yeah, this is a real telescopic view of Saturn. You want to tell people that it's a place that they can one day travel to? You want people to believe in this? This. Folks, our job is crystal clear. At this point, we just need to laugh. Laugh our asses off at these pathetic people who want to keep making excuses and saying that this is all real. It's a cartoon. It is make-believe. It's a sad excuse for reality, and it simply doesn't exist. It is simply pretend. Imagine if you were on the moon looking at Earth. Would it look the way that it looked in all the Apollo films? I don't think so. Another beautiful fake by NASA. So, they got there first and made a fake universe and even have it taught in schools. all because they made sure it was mathematically correct. But what it comes down to is, does mathematics always mean reality? So first, let's take a look at a couple quotes, see if they can help us out. First one is, today's scientists have substituted mathematics for experiments, and they wander off through equation after equation, and eventually build a structure which has no relation to reality. Nikola Tesla. And Max Planck, surveying his own career in the scientific autobiography, sadly remarked that a new scientific truth does not triumph by convincing its opponents and making them see the light, but rather because its opponents eventually die, and a new generation grows up that is familiar with it. And lastly, the skeptic will say, it may well be true that this system of equations is reasonable from a logical standpoint, but this does not prove that it corresponds to nature. You are right, dear skeptic. Experience alone can decide on truth. Pure logical thinking cannot yield us any knowledge of the empirical world. All knowledge of reality starts from experience and ends in it. Albert Einstein, 1954. So from this, we can conclude that there are two different types of mathematical truths. Number one, mathematical truths only. Number two, mathematical truths which also correspond to physical reality. In which one do you think the globe falls into? Clearly, the globe is completely and totally impossible. Let's take a look at a few examples of this. First, let's look at solar and lunar eclipses. So, if you look at the top, you'll see that the moon, coming right to left, is going through a lunar eclipse in which the Earth's shadow supposedly appears on the moon. So if that were true, you can just look at the distance that the moon is traveling there. If it were true, then our full moon would last as long as the lunar eclipses do. The last lunar eclipse that we had lasted 3 hours and 24 minutes. So do our full moons last 3 hours and 24 minutes, or do they last 3 days? Something we need to ask ourselves. If you look a little bit lower there, you'll see now the moon is coming around from left to right. And this is the time when it goes in front of the sun, and that is a solar eclipse. And during a solar eclipse, the moon blocks the sun, and this happens very quickly. Our new moon lasts 3 days. So why wouldn't eclipses also last 3 days? Is the moon actually going around monthly, or is it going around daily, as some may think? Let's listen now and watch as this man almost wets himself over Benoit's balls. Bailey's beads. And of course, he almost cries when it comes time for, it's a diamond ring!
Here it comes. Here it comes. We've got the camera. Oh, we got some Bailey's beads. One last little dot, and now, oh wow! It's incredible. There's the streamers coming out in the corona. It's the most amazing corona I've ever seen in all my solar eclipses. Here we are at a period of quiet sun, the minimum, and yet the corona is fantastic. There it is. We have it in our white light view now. And you can see the complexity of these streamers. In fact, some of them are called helmet streamers. They look like a Greek helmet. Yeah, the crowd really gets, yeah, see, it does get you. Stunning. And now, as our eyes are adapting to the darkness, we can see the streamers reaching farther and farther from the sun. Just a tremendous distance. Like this big white spider in the sky. And there are details in our photograph. You can see the magnetic nature of the corona, the lines. Some close-up of the edge of the sun and the corona.
Fantastic. Very exactly, really.
Teşekkür ederim.
The corona is really bright around the edge of the sun. It's quite bright close, and there's lots of structure to it. Oh, where are the planets?
Between clouds.
I don't see the planets. Our students are enjoying it. Little screen there. Yeah, the light is glowing around the horizon, scattering on the clouds and making it just a little too bright to see the planets.
The prediction.
It's just like a prediction.
It's incredible. You're going to have to talk about that.
Wow. We're about midway through the eclipse here. It's amazing to be able to see the overall magnetic field of the sun sketched out in the lines of the corona. Yes! It's fantastic.
Fantastic.
Total solar eclipse, I bring you Robin. And we're bringing this live to the Exploratorium in San Francisco. Hi, Linda and Ron Hipschman. Linda Shore and Ron Hipschman is hosting there our wonderful eclipse program. Oh, the birds are coming in to land in the theater. So this solar eclipse is brought to you by the sun, the moon, the earth, NASA, and the Exploratorium. I see at the lower part of the sun right now a bright red dot. It's like the chromosphere, one part of the chromosphere, maybe a naked eye prominence in about 5 o'clock here in our naked eye view. That, I've never seen something like that in the middle of an eclipse. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's the most amazing red as the chromosphere begins to come out, being unveiled. That's really unique, that red. Here comes again. Here comes the sun. Let's go to the whole sun view. Diamond ring, a fantastic diamond ring. There it is. Oh, wow. Time to go back to glasses. Once again, the sun returns. We're saved by the laws of celestial mechanics.
Mechanics. A bright red dot. Oh, wow. It's the most amazing red I've ever seen. Here comes the sun. Oh, wow. If you believe that these eclipses are real, I ask you again to please randomly choose any 10 YouTube eclipses that you want and go see if even one of them looks even halfway legit. They are not real. It's a joke. Another hoax on us. Ha ha. Look at everybody believing in these things. If you disagree, take my challenge. Go watch 10 of them. You'll see. Now take a look at this image. No, it's not Mickey Mouse. Pretend you're that pink character at the top, and imagine this is what you'd see from your vantage point. Sunrise on your left, sunset on your right, in 14 hours. How about a blood moon, with the sun and the moon both above your horizon at the same time, and that shadow on the moon is that of Earth, of course. Does that make any sense? Now let's take a look at this image. I'll go through it kind of step by step with you. So first, imagine that you are the man standing at letter A, the little pink character. Looking out at your horizon, you can see that the yellow lines are kind of his vantage point. Now, if you were to say, well, the pink guy is standing at letter X, or the pink guy is standing at letter Z, understand that we could rotate the globe so that your pink man was standing at the top where I have situated letter A, right? We could rotate X so he was where A is, or rotate Z where A is, so everyone has that top perspective. So now let's look at letter B, which would be the sunrise. That's what you'd see from your vantage point. Not very far out, right? If you're looking out over the beach, we're talking possibly 3-4 miles deep, and being able to see the sunrise. Now let's jump over to letter C. Now picture that we have simply turned around. So we saw the sun rise. Now we're going to turn around and watch it set. So you can take a look at letter D, and you can see that the sun sets. Now that happens within 14 hours, as letter E states. However, if you look at letter G, that sun needed to set and go all the way around the globe and come back up to letter H in order for you to see it, which only took 10 hours. Yet the simple rise and set, as if you look at letter F, would take 14 hours. Hopefully that makes sense. We can move on down below here. You can see that the Earth is spinning. You can see letter K there showing you which way the Earth is rotating. And then you can take a look first at letter I, which shows you a distance of 2,500 miles. Now we can look out at letter N, which is the sun. Now if you're that first dot on letter I, you can't see the sun rise because there's a 789 mile curvature in the 2,500 mile distance between the first and second dot on letter I. So as the globe rotated to where the second dot on I is, to understand it a little better, let's look over on the right hand side and you can see that the person at letter P is looking out at the sun rising, which is letter O. Now you might wonder, where must that person be to see the sun rise? So look back at the globe on the left. Let's take a look at letter M. And if you look carefully, you'll see there's a black dot and a gray dot. Let's pretend that the black dot is on the near side of the globe, where we are, and the gray dot is on the complete other side of the globe. Now you might think that that's where you would be to see the sun rise or the sun set. But remember, between there and the horizon point would be 6,250 miles, which is about 5,000 miles of curvature. 5,000 miles. So do you think you'd be able to see over that hump of 5,000 miles? Absolutely not. So you'd have to wait until your position at M got all the way over to L until you could see the sun. So how are we able to see the sun rise and set? Let's take a look at this carousel. If you've never seen this one before, it's a world famous carousel in Santa Cruz, California. It was implemented in 1911, still running. It's kind of a cool one because you can grab these little, I don't know if you can anymore actually, you can grab little ring hooks and try and throw them in the clown's mouth, but people start throwing them at each other because, you know, us humans like to throw things at each other. So let's pretend that that clown is the sun. And this is us going around the Earth. So let's see how often we would see the sun rise or set. You can kind of pretend that pole in front of you is the horizon. So we would see the sun rise and set. And then we'd have all this time to sleep. Because really, about 1/20th of our trip is the sunrise and sunset. Here it comes again. There's the sunrise and there's the sunset. So that's why the globe makes no sense. Like I've told you before, take an hour and just think about living on a globe. It doesn't work. It's pretend. It's a joke. There he goes. Goodbye. So hopefully you can see that if you're on the Earth rotating like this, how would you ever see the sun rise until you got to the position that your horizon was right in front of it? Like here, we see it rise, and then we see it set. And now we get to go around and wave at the people and look outside and eat a cotton candy and a corn dog. And here we come again, and we see the sun rise and set. Hopefully that helped you visualize a little better how the globe is a joke. Because remember that we see the sun half the time, and half the time we don't. So on a ball, that would mean that you get to see it half the time. How would it be possible to see the sun on half of our carousel trip here? How would we see the clown half the time? Another way to look at it is if you ever look at the night sky, half of the stars are above the horizon at a time, and half are below. How would that be humanly possible to see half of the stars? You would have to be cutting the globe in half, but you can't see down to the middle half of the globe. You would only be able to see to your horizon, which is the very top of the globe. So explain to me how we see all the stars above the horizon every night, well, half the stars, and half the stars below. Doesn't make any sense. Therefore, the Earth is not a ball. Here's another image to show you that astronomy is bullshit. If you take a look here, you can see there's two different Earths. Let's take the one on the left first, and we're the little white guy. Of course, from there he'd be able to see the stars as I've circled in purple. Correct? Makes sense? Well, 6 months later we'd be on the other side of the sun. So let's now look at the Earth that's on the right-hand side. And now we'd be able to see the stars that are in the blue circles. But how would you be able to see the same stars as on the other side of the Earth? You can't. They'd be missing. Yet, that's not as appears in our reality. Next image, we have another picture of the Earth, and you'll see the man at the top of the globe is spinning 150 miles per hour, while the man at the equator is spinning 1,050 miles per hour. So if the man at the top spent 20 years of his life up at the top and then took a little plane ride down to the equator and got off the plane spinning 900 miles per hour faster than he was just a few hours ago, how does he not fall on the ground and see stars? We'll never know. It's a mystery of the spinning ball globe. Now let's take a look at the next image. This one's interesting because I put a bunch of dots all over the place. Now imagine that I've told all those people to simply look north. And the purple arrows are the direction that every person would be looking, which would be disastrous. And if you look down around 7 o'clock, I'd say, if we treated the Earth as a clock, you can see that one guy has a purple and a yellow line coming out of his head, because if I told him to look north, technically he could look either direction. He could look at the yellow line, or he could look at the purple line. So is that our reality? That north is two directions, completely opposite each other, almost to a 45-degree angle? Absolutely not. But it only works on a globe, which is completely fiction. Now you'll see the next image. We've got the sun down below in the middle, and we're looking at the path of the Earth in its 6 months, which it travels almost 300 million miles. Yes, 300 million miles. And you'll see that the Earth has its axis, so its tilt. On the right-hand side, we can see the red man, and we can see the arrow that's pointing to his up or behind him, and the arrow pointing to the north. Now let's take our travels as we go all the way around to the other side of the sun. The axis, of course, stays the same, so it's still pointed at the North Star. Yet now our up is the complete opposite direction. And north, how can you even keep north in the same direction as it just was? Of course, they'll tell you that these stars are infinite distance away from you, that they are trillions and quadrillions of miles away, which is an easy way to say, we have no idea. It's some bullshit, so we'll just make it up. Now, due to current scientific thought, it is currently acceptable for some clowns to feel smart while making absolutely zero sense, even to be so full of themselves that they'll make $7,000 challenges, and they of course will never pay, because they simply don't understand that longitude and latitude lines are fictitious, they're not real, and even others will come along and include their own $1,000 when they don't understand either what the challenge is, but simply because they believe in a globe, they feel like they're smart. You know who I'm talking about. Aloha, mahalo to all my truthers. So now, no need to make sense or even try and understand the challenge that I'll be making. Let's be mature and talk about one simple subject that I don't understand at all, but I will talk like this to make it seem like I have a clue about my globe Earth model when I absolutely don't. See, I'm confused by sending this plane up and to the right from Mexico and claiming that the pilot must fly that way on the fake flat Earth map, where my plane that flies like I always do from California to Hawaii goes up and to the left to get to Hawaii. So my simple statement is how in the world on your fake map you go up and to the right. See, once you understand that those lines there going to the right are called fictitious, then you realize that the plane can go any way you send it. In fact, your plane goes against those lines as well when you go up and to the left on your globe, in which you must also climb the hump of 789 miles, which is not needed on the flat Earth model. Now, take a look at the flat Earth map. You'll see that I drew the lines of longitude and latitude on here, and I show you the degrees so that you can see it works just like a globe, only without all the curvature that we don't see anywhere in reality. Then I added the next lines, and you can see the little pink dot that is Honolulu and the pink dot that is in San Francisco. You'll also notice that nowhere inside the United States is it south of Honolulu. It is all north, meaning that every time you ever travel from the United States to Hawaii, you'd be traveling southwest. So, number one, you see here, he showed the flat Earth plane is leaving Mexico and going south, then east. Why? Sounds like a pilot problem to me. I'd fire him. Number two, then magically he showed his plane leaving and going south and west, which would be the same as the flat Earth map. So I don't even mind the mistake, but the pompous attitude with the wrong info was kind of sad. And number three, the plane goes south and west as it would on the globe or the flat Earth map. Only difference is the flat Earth map gets to leave out that 789-mile climb that would really be tough on an airplane and all those occupants inside. But, you know, the globe's the fact, so I guess we just all deal with the big climb and the headaches and the altitude. But we're impressive creatures, what can I say? You can see here that on this little diagram, the highest mountain in the United States is 3 miles. Plane flies about 7 miles. The ISS flies at 250 miles high. Yet the plane on its way to Hawaii, 789 miles. It's an impressive jetliner. Aloha and mahalo, and thank you for not flying along the longitude and latitude lines. I am still interested in how exactly Truth Error C is getting out of paying Lori the $7,000 she deserves for a well thought out and quick response.
That's one small step for man, one giant. I have a dream.
Well, folks, that's about it for today. Stay tuned this week. We got all kinds of awesome stuff coming up. We have purchase and material details for our time to launch balloons. You can join me tonight if you like, along with Bob from Hawaii. If he can join us, possibly TJ will be there. Who knows who we'll have. I've got some Eclipse stuff coming up this week, some Challenger disaster stuff. Disaster. And possibly a curvature test. You never know when, so packed full. Just really quick, if you have emailed me or commented or are waiting for a response from me, please know that I'm doing every single thing I can. I'm doing the very best I can. I'm taking care of my family first and doing all that I can to try and make more room and more time for videos and spreading the truth. It's not easy. If you're wealthy or if you have any extra, please click donate. I would appreciate it so much. It helps more than you'll ever know. That's the honest truth. I appreciate it so much. And if you can't, please just share my videos. They're always free. They'll always be free. And truth be told, when I made my first video just 6 months ago, I honestly had no idea that I'd love doing it so much. And I really do like it a lot. So there's so much to discuss. And I appreciate those of you who have been there. You've been unbelievable. Those who have helped me, helped my wife and I are unbelievable. I can't even say enough. Bob and Cammie, Paul, Jonathan, you guys are unbelievable. I hope you know I'm forever indebted, and to the rest of you as well. If I forgot your name, I'm sorry. I just wanted to get that off my chest and tell you how much I really appreciate it. I can't say enough. So see you tonight, 6 p.m. Pacific time, right here on YouTube. So, this is Jaren with Jarenism. I'm reminding you all to open your mind, because there's truth inside. Be good to each other. Don't lie to each other. Please remember that golden rule. And until next time, stay flat. Peace.
you